Hello, everybody, and welcome to another week of our Big Brother or Celebrity Big Brother Season 3 chit chat here on Crazy Hate TV. Because they're doing this like faster paced show,
Weird schedule.
It's in a weird schedule. It's really kind of throwing me for a loop. I can't remember. I'm like, where were we at last week?
Where did we come in at?
So to remember, last week when we recorded
was before the eviction.
There was no eviction
Yes.
yet.
Right.
Correct.
We are just talking about. Okay, so we're just talking about this players and what we thought. I think we've seen a lot over the last week to kind of maybe make us either double down on what we thought about some players or rethink some players.
Change our minds.
Yeah. So what'd y'all think? They are crazy cuckoo up in there.
Yeah. Well, I mean, a little bit. I mean, like some of them, at least two of them kind of don't know where they are half the time. So there's that.
Don't know the game.
2, 3, 4 of them maybe. Like they just wake up and what am I doing here? I don't even know what's happening.
Misha,
I wanted cake and then I didn't want cake.
Yeah, lots of cake. So much cake.
Well, I really want to just see what all the hoopla is, or if it's just there's no other cake and it's the only cake and therefore the cake is good. But
Did you see him eating it?
Oh yeah, that's some crazy that's for
real.
real.
And he's eating it out of the tray and like it's everyone's cake. It was gross.
Okay, whatever. They can
like
make another
total JP move, really.
Whatever. At this point, they have so much time on their hand. Everyone could have their own cake.
I mean, to be fair, they've all been on like Misha's like diet, or Misha keeps trying to make them be on her diet. So like they all kind of have to sneak the cake.
Be on my diet or I will vote you out. What is that?
I don't know.
No, I'm not.
It's a whole thing. We'll talk about that later.
Yeah, we'll talk about the whole Misha. But the cake, he said that the medicine that he gets in the evening makes him tired, and that makes me wonder if the medicine he takes at night to help him sleep
like an Ambien-ish type
is some sort of a sleep aid. Yeah. Because that looks like the
Seroquel, maybe
the habitualness of it, of getting up in the middle of the night and wanting something sweet. And I mean, one time, okay, but it was like every single night,
over and over again. Yeah, like every night.
So much that they knew that that's what he was doing, and they were watching him, and he didn't seem to recognize that they were watching him do it. Right?
No. That's what I mean. Like, okay, listen, I've been known to have a good, like, hard nap for like 3 hours and then wake up and instantly go to the Pop-Tarts. It's like a thing. You have to like get your blood sugar back, like going back up.
Sure.
I don't know. Every time I saw him do it, I was like, what's the big deal? Doesn't everybody just
it's his cake now
in the middle of the night? Like, isn't this just what we do when we get up from sleeping?
But it looked like a chocolate cake with like some sort of powdered sugar icing or something, maybe.
Well, it was Carson's. It looked like it might have been Carson's, lockdown recipe when he started baking during lockdown.
Right, that's what he said,
isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he did. But again, I'm always up for a good chocolate cake. I'm not a big cake fan, but I do like chocolate cake. So
yeah, I don't blame him.
It's
cake. It's there to eat. I would spend so much time eating in that house. Like anytime there's been somebody in the Big Brother house and they get picked on for eating all the time or eating all the cereal or leaving out coffee mugs everywhere. Like I am that person. I can't.
Well, you're stressed in there and there's not a lot to do. I would just be in there because there's not really anything creative to do. You can't journal. You can't write. You can't draw.
You can't look at your phone.
Can't look at your phone. The only two things there are to do is to primp in the mirror, which there's only so much you can do with that without looking like a total, like, what is wrong with you, crazy person.
And even that would be kind of nerve-wracking if you know the show because you know that there's cameras on the other side of those mirrors.
Right.
So it's like,
a little weird. Yeah. So I think the thing I would do to fill the day would be I would just cook because what else is there?
Yep, cook and
I'm gonna experiment.
And I don't think
sleeping's not good for your game though.
Yeah, he's not getting much sleep at night because Todd is such a snorer. So he's up eating, or
Yeah.
medical sleep eating. I
Right.
don't know.
All right. So we saw Misha won the HOH.
Yep. She did.
She put up originally. Oh gosh, I can't hardly even remember now. She put up
Mariah.
Mariah.
And who did she put up originally? Catan? Was Catan? No, Todd.
No, Todd was the replacement.
Okay,
right?
Hold on. Yeah, it was Carson. See,
Carson.
this is already screwing her head up so bad.
Right. I know I can't keep it straight.
Mon purse business. Just got us all sorts of confused.
Maybe I should randomly just say Mon during the podcast.
And then Carson
took himself
butt at his little veto.
Yeah. He's amazing. Go Carson. I'm loving him more and more.
He just set himself up to.
He's all
set
we got.
himself up as a threat, a major threat to everybody in the house. He's the threat now because he won a competition and is a likable person. Number one threat. What does that say about everybody else?
Yeah. Maybe the rest of y'all are a bunch of D-bags. I don't know.
Suck or something. I don't know. If the one nice guy is like, the target.
So he saves himself, takes himself off.
Yep.
Which, duh. And then she was able to backdoor our housewife, Mellencamp.
We got Teddy out. Teddy
Mellencamp. Thank you.
Right?
Teddy went home, but then
that was the first one.
Right. Then we get Kirkpatrick winning the HOH.
Right. Okay.
Now we're caught up.
Oh, David, I was feeling so sad for you because you just so much hate. Was he able to redeem himself to you in any way, shape, or form when you actually heard him talk in strategy with Atlanta?
Nope, didn't.
What's her name? Sherry.
Are you
Cynthia.
You're talking about Cynthia, or you're talking about? Are you talking about Cynthia?
The blonde, the one that he's working with. Shani? No.
Shayna.
Jeez. I'm telling you, I don't know.
It's Shanthia, right?
I literally cannot. And you know what? I'm not even mad about it because after Celebrity Big Brother, I will never think of them again because I don't watch those shows. Okay, so Shayna.
And
I will say
they kind of buddied up a little bit, right?
I'm gonna say I don't mind their game talk. At least you're hearing what's going on in their heads. They seem to be doing a little more than they appeared to be doing before.
Right. Well, my favorite out of the entire 2 days or whatever of them contemplating what to do with this HOH and all their game talk, I really think the highlighted moment for me, it didn't show it on CBS, they probably won't ever, was at one point Kirkpatrick is telling her like, hey, these are all the reasons we need to like look out for Misha, and she just like stops and interrupts him, and she's like, she's an a-hole. Except for she said the whole word.
Right.
And she's like, that's it. That's all we need to know. That's it. And then I was like, I'm on board with her now. You know what I mean? It's like, there doesn't have to be some like huge backstory of why we feel this way. She's just not very nice and you don't want to put up with it, then fine.
Right. And Kirkpatrick was Kirkpatrick?
Yeah, I've been calling them Chris Stink and
Kirkpatrick.
It's too hard. There's too many syllables and weird places in his last
name.
Well,
I wonder if they're going to still refer to him that way after
this week.
We'll hold the spoilers for the end. We're not going to try not to spoil you guys, but we will talk about it.
They've had a couple different conversations about pronouncing his last name, and they've all asked his permission if they can just call him Kirkpatrick because the K makes them stop in the middle of the word and restart it, so they don't like that. They've clearly we're not the only people that choke on the middle of that name. It's a tough one to get out and remember smoothly. So
it's got to suck to be the least talented of all the in sync people and have the shittiest last name.
Right, it's not fun. It's not.
And maybe the
it's not.
shittiest post career too, because we've seen a lot from like Joey and Justin. Hello, like that's a different stratosphere, right? But Joey Fatone's been working. He's done Broadway. He's done other things.
Yeah.
Lance Vance has done stuff. I know I'm forgetting someone. JC Chazé. Ooh, JC Chazé fell off the planet.
Yeah,
but still more talented.
Well, he did have a solo album. But look at this. I'm getting a nod from JP. He says we're totally in sync. So I don't know what that's about, but
cue the music.
But I will always take somebody agreeing with me, so that's fine. And JP, if you're here to chat, you could always just jump on.
You can always just join in, JP.
Anyway, so he seemed to get, and I don't know if this is editing just trying to create a story, but and you can tell us. He seemed like he was getting a little as HOH.
Okay, I
don't think he's wrong.
Yeah, and I think that I kind of said to you guys, to me, he kind of comes across that one manager that's like usually like a district manager or something of a place you work. So you don't have to be around them very often, but whenever they show up, they just like ruin the fun for everybody. Like, that nice comfortable zone you get in with your friends at work, and you know exactly what you can do to goof off and get away with and what you can't do. And then the DM comes in and you have to be like really careful because he makes it very clear that he's not here to have fun. Right. He is here to be in charge of you and ruin your fun.
Very serious.
So but listen, he's kind of got a little bit of that, and so
he's a little Debbie Downer, except he wasn't on SNL to be able to do this. He's not the right Chris from SNL to do the Debbie Downer. You know what I mean?
Yeah. He was at least trying to make some like good decisions and was talking to people. His HOH-itis was not nearly as bad as some people we've seen in the past. And
he wasn't letting Misha push him around, which I think was actually smart.
And I think that is one of the best parts of his game, but also is going to be one of the worst parts of his game, is that he recognized that they were kind of trying to get him to do their bidding, her and Todrick, and he didn't like it, but he did make it clear, this is my HOH. So
Right.
Last week was your HOH and we did you. Now this week we're going to do, we're going to do me.
It wasn't like bridge burning bad. There was no fight, but it just was that little notch of going, they're telling me what to do and I don't like it. And they're going, oh, he thinks we're telling him what to do and he doesn't like it. So now we have to watch out for him.
I thought he was just setting his boundaries. He wasn't wrong. Come on, dude. Like, we didn't tell you what to do last week.
Right.
I don't really care about if him or Misha go. I don't really care because I don't really like Misha either because I do think she's bossy and I don't like that. If they want to continue to kind of push each other a little bit.
Oh boy.
Oof.
I think that with his biggest flaw in his game up to this point, just in his game, not personality or friendships or anything, just in his game, is that when they took a moment and they thought about, we could make a move that would count, which was originally they were going, if they won the veto, or somebody like Carson, if they won the veto, anybody but Todrick or Misha won that veto, they were going to take down, they were going to take somebody down, and they weren't sure for sure who yet, but they were going to put Todrick up.
Right.
And make a move. But here's the flaw. Because that's good thinking. It's what they should have done. Because,
Well, it weakens
Todrick
Misha.
Is everywhere.
But why not just put Misha up?
But the problem was that he decided he was going to tell every person in that house what he was going to do. And half of those people don't know where they are. So, like, here's the conversation with him talking to Chris Kattan. Listen, if we win the veto, I want you to not worry. Here's Chris, like, about what? What am I worried about? He's like, no, if I get the veto, I'm going to take you down. I'm going to take you off. And he's like,
and then I get
no,
cake?
don't do that. Why would you do that?
Listen,
and he's like, no, I'm going to take you down. I'm going to take you down. And he's like, well, Mariah deserves to be here. I think not I don't know where I am. And this is like, he went to every single person, like, this is what I'm gonna do. I don't want you to worry, but this is what I'm gonna do. And that is the kind of stuff that just gets under my skin, because one, it was
just
a
telling
good
them,
plan. But
he
now
wasn't telling
like,
them who he was going to replace, but he was saying, I'm going to take Chris Kattan down.
Right, but now he's telling everybody what he's going to do, because it's like he's not recognizing the fact that the people there can see that he made a move without him telling them he made a move.
Right, because he's already made it obvious. He's already told Misha and Todrick that he wanted Mariah out. Oof, gosh, these names are getting me. Okay, so he's already told them that's his target. So then when it comes back to them that if I win veto, I'm taking Chris Kattan down. Obviously, if you're not telling who the backup's going to be, you're backdooring one of them. You're backdooring somebody.
Right.
It's
so it was that part was dumb. And then we actually get to the point where we get to see the, we know that the veto's won, that we can take somebody down. Can Shayna use it, or is she not going to use it? So there's this whole thing for like 2 days that this is going to happen. I mean, and literally up until the point that feeds cut for the day, like till the episode aired.
There was no indication of which way we're going.
No, all you heard was him and Shayna saying, this is what we're going to do. We're taking him down. This is what we're going to do. And then we get to the live show and she's like, I'm not going to use it.
Well, the only thing that they said on the episode
they
was
didn't have the votes.
Right. They said they couldn't rely on Kattan voting correctly. So they must not have had the votes.
And one of the biggest problems too is at that point in time, I don't think they were entirely certain on what side Lamar or Todd were really on. Like they were still kind of iffy. And I by all means should be, because I think they are riding the feds.
Okay.
I don't know that either one of them are really playing.
No. Well, Lamar is a little bit more now, and after this afternoon, again, spoilers, Todd's really starting to kick into gear. So,
well, Lamar, you can tell the competitive starting to kick in a little bit.
Well, he's starting to understand the game. He's like, oh, okay. Oh, and then we do that. Oh, and then we do this. Oh, okay. Oh, if I win that, then you can't put me up. Oh, okay. Like he's starting to.
After the first eviction apparently blew his mind, because he didn't know what was happening, if people were supposed to sit, or if they were walking her to the door, or if it was time for pancakes.
Yeah, poor guy. Oh, back to that eviction. What did y'all make about Todd seemed so angry when he was the replacements nomination?
I know. I will tell you, I seriously was like, what? That was weird. Why
did he think he was getting backdoored or something?
Why did Todrick hand that purse over to Kattan to make that choice? Because I thought for sure he was going to I thought Kattan's going up. Right. But he handed it to him to make that choice. Now, I thought, you know what? There was probably a strategic reason for this, because it looked like he thought it through for a minute. So I was really looking forward to hearing what it was.
He's
there wasn't. There was nothing.
He was just like,
he just, nah. Yeah. So, but Todd and Kattan kind of don't get along very well. Like they're kind of uncomfortable around each other. And again, Todd is snoring all the time. Kattan is getting really irritated by it, because he's having
just move to a different room. Go sleep in.
So many health issues. He can't sleep.
I was gonna say, where was Teddy sleeping? Go sleep there.
So yeah, I think they eventually did go into different rooms, but I think it just started everything off in a weird way. And there was that entire first week that they were in the house and there was no live feeds. And this is actually the reason why Mariah got put up for eviction. This is why Kirkpatrick put her up, and we aren't allowed to know why. So
but what you do know from the live feeds is, let's break that down. What you do know is that there was some sort of fight.
There was a fight between the two of them, Mariah and Kirkpatrick.
We don't know what.
Don't know what. There's some rumor it might have to do with a false positive COVID test or something. We don't know. I don't know for sure. This is just rumors.
Okay.
And some of the most like reliable people who are feed watchers that kind of know, really, they don't know. What we do know is that he left, was at a hotel for an entire day, and they've all signed things.
That's not fair.
Yeah, and they've all signed things saying that they are not allowed to talk about what happened in any exit interviews. So we won't probably know the entire thing.
So then that means that the fight must have gotten bad enough that if we as the public knew what happened, it could hurt that person, someone's career.
Right.
Right. Because they're not going there to destroy their career. They're going there.
Maybe there was, a racist name or something. But no, they would have thrown him out for that.
No, I don't think I don't think it was something literally between just the two of them, Mariah and Kirkpatrick, something about an accusation, and apologies were made later. But that is all we know.
It couldn't have been that he touched her or something, because he would be gone.
He'd be gone.
Something
racial.
Right. If it was racial, he probably.
But if it was something like she legitimately had the wrong idea about something, there's plenty of footage that would give them a very clear picture, and she would probably be allowed to see it. So
yeah.
I don't know. It is a weird mystery, but whatever happened in that week is why she was put up for eviction. It is why she's kind of on the outs from the rest of the group. And Chris Kattan has something to do with that, because he was being very protective of her. And she was of him. So
because she was the youngest. And if Kattan probably thought if she was getting ganged up on, well, that's not fair. You have to forgive her. So she probably must have said something or accused him of something or said something, and she was in the wrong with the rest. If so many of them got upset with her.
And I could just from what we've seen,
maybe she said you're the least talented member of NSYNC.
Well, how can you get mad about that? He's got to know it. I mean, if you're in a band and you're Ringo, you know you're Ringo. You don't think you're John Lennon.
People love Ringo. Nobody knew this guy was.
Kirkpatrick and Todd have a lot of really funny times where they are kind of dissing each other, but it's in good fun. They're being funny about it, but they're kind of picking on each other. And Todd was telling Kirkpatrick about how he looked like a gnome, an angry gnome in his yellow hat. And Kirkpatrick was saying, you know what? Well, I really liked Different Strokes until you were on it. And then he was like,
which was day one. So
he's like, well, I really like NSYNC if you weren't in it, because you are the least talented in NSYNC. Justin's a better singer than you.
Well,
and he goes, you're right. He is better. He's my favorite.
Yeah, he's everyone's favorite. Because he brought sexy back. That's why.
Right.
He was sure Britney's favorite.
Well, I think it's because of the Christmas box on SNL. That's what brought him to life. I'm just certain of it. You'll know what I'm talking about if you've seen the skit.
Yeah.
So I think that whatever it was, that's why Mariah's up. That's why she was in the hot seat. Also, you'll notice that Mariah's she's a lot younger than the rest of them, but she's not 17.
No, but I think she was very sheltered, given her background and if all you do is go to school and train and go to school and train and go to school and train, and you don't get to go out and have a normal childhood, and you're kind of sheltered. You're not exposed to a lot of people.
You're 22 going on 17.
So maybe she wasn't really able to develop that social skill.
If you watch her videos and stuff on the feed, she was always fairly nice. She's a nice person, but she's a little different. She is a little bit different. Just kind of the way she interacts and her body language, and she doesn't.
I don't know. I thought she was really sweet.
She's very sweet, but there was a time where Lamar was trying to make her feel better because because she was really bumming. So he basically kind of talked to her in the best way he knew how to relate to her, and that was in competition, right? Because here they are, they both can understand, right?
Both had competed in the Olympics, right? They said
right,
that.
And so he's trying so hard to just get her on the same page as her and get her to know, like, you're not alone. And he's not like touchy-feely about things. You know, he's just like, hey, you got to just, you know, this is a competition. You just got to take it as it is and don't take it personally. And, you know, you'll be okay. And she's like, well, yeah, I know, but she's doing
But
that
here's
stuff.
the difference. Okay, so they're both athletes, and here's the difference between them. He's a team player athlete.
Yes.
She's a single athlete,
right.
an
And
individual
her points
athlete.
and
that's a different mentality.
Right. Her points will go to her team, but they're not on the ice together doing it.
Right.
It's an individual show.
And I just wonder if that, so like if you think about it, she probably really is stunted in that social, because she doesn't have to do that. Not even in his teamwork.
A lot of time. Yeah, a lot of time alone. And I don't think it was necessarily, I didn't see that first week, but I never really got the idea that it was they pushed her out on her own so much as she just never was comfortable including herself. So
yeah,
you know, which is
maybe
a bummer. It was really cute though. Derek X from last season, he was like, I'm so sick of watching this. He's like, I want to break into the house. I'm going to start the Takeout Alliance with her. Yes. That'd be so awesome. I love him. Yeah, she had a rough time, but Catan, just tried his best to be kind, and she
did anybody else stick up for her besides Catan in that fight that we know of?
Not like a straight up stood up for her. I don't know what happened. It was just whatever it was nutty. And
we have like 4 players that are 50 or over.
Yes.
They're old enough to be her parents.
Yeah.
Sure. Regardless of whether she's, but there were a lot of them that were old enough to be your parents. Like, and when you were that age, did you not make mistakes? I don't know. I just don't.
I still do.
It seems weird.
I still make them all the time.
100%. That's weird. Anyway, okay. But how awesome or how awkward, awesomely awkward was it when she got kicked out and she got to do her thing with Julie?
Well, before that, how about Catan standing up and basically saying, I'm going to go home, and then everyone voted.
They're like, no.
Like,
Yeah.
He's like, please send me home. I'm miserable. Let me go. And they're like, no.
And they're like, nope, not yet.
And I know why. Like, I mean, they like Chris enough, but I know why they're not letting him go. Like, that's who you take to your final 2. He won't know what he's doing. You have won. You just win.
And proof that he's not playing the game is that his thing was he's up on the block, and in his head he's going, but she really wants to be here. She really likes this game more than me. So she should get to stay and play because that's nice. That's not the game, dude. That is not the game.
And yet the internet loves him. It doesn't matter. We love him.
He's a sweetheart, and you feel bad for him because, oh my God, him falling down. Getting out of the bed in the dark.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Oh my God. So pitch black in the room. He's sleepwalk eating or whatever it was he was doing. And he was stumbling and fumbling. And I thought he's going to lose his way around because you get turned around. If you fall, you don't know now which way the door is.
I don't remember who said it, but the following night, after the night that he fell and almost broke his neck again, poor guy.
Yes.
They turned the lights on in that room. And I don't remember, somebody like Lamar, I don't remember. Somebody was like, why won't they turn the lights off in this room?
Because they don't want to hurt himself.
Because Chris Kattan's going to end up in a coma if we let him walk around in the dark. But he's going to get hurt.
He went over and he looked like he was nearly about to get into bed with Carson. That was the best. Carson was
Carson's keep moving.
No. That was fantastic. Oh, God. Yeah, and you know what? He could have done that as a skit, and it would have been just as funny, but I felt really bad laughing.
I know.
Come on, Jimmy Fallon. Give him a job. Jeez.
Come on. So
they were castmates. Come on.
This
come on, Will Ferrell.
Will. This caught him all the way up till Sunday. So Sunday we move in, and Carson has decided Misha has to go.
Wait, we got to talk about what happened after Mariah got kicked out and that awkward exchange with Julie.
Right?
Oh yeah, let's do.
I do. I love my Julie.
First of all, like we were talking about Mariah, like, being sheltered. I was actually really surprised for whatever reason. I was really surprised when she said she has never been in a room where she was the only person who was Asian. And I thought, wow, she
her mom
really
was always
has.
with her.
She really has
Probably.
she's always had probably a family member or a mom with her, and it's like that right there just to me.
And who knows who her coach is?
How sheltered she was.
Maybe her coach is Asian. I don't know who her coach is, but I mean, she's and in competitions,
I just and then like Julie like, oh wow, here's a moment for me.
But I have.
Right, this is a moment where Julie could have like really warmed her persona up, right? Like,
and like, oh, I know it's tough, right? But no, she's like, snap back.
She straight up was like, rub some dirt on it, girl.
I've been in that room.
I've been in that room. Yes, Julie, because you're like 30 years older than her. Get over yourself.
And she's like, I really want to hug you, but I can't. And I'm like, you know what? Right? I'm going to start using that for everything. Like, I really want to hug you, but I can't.
The funniest thing was she never told people she wanted to hug them, but couldn't before COVID. And she could have hugged them, and she never hugged them before COVID. Why? But now it's like, oh, I wish I could.
It's like the hugs they're missing, but they're not.
I want to show some sympathy, but no. Mm-mm. No. So that
she wasn't wearing a knitted dress or a crochet.
She wasn't.
Thank God for CBS miracles that somebody got on top of that.
Because Les is out. Les is working on the next one.
Yep. Oh my gosh.
I just thought, I don't know. It was weird. Anyway. All right. So what were you going to say about you were going to go on before we start talking about Julie?
Now we go to Sunday.
On a Sunday, Carson's decided that Misha should be a target, which finally, they've been targeting you for the last 2 weeks. Thank you for realizing you need to turn that around. Yes. And this is my favorite thing. Okay. So like everyone's like, Carson's the target. And like, meanwhile, Carson's just like, Chris Kattan, I want to do your hair. Like I'm going to make this cake. I'm going to go take a bubble bath. Like,
oh my God, his bubble bath. That was so cute.
He's just
when he took
the hair.
When he took the cucumbers and rinsed them off and ate them, we just died.
This is what I said when I saw that. I looked at my husband. I was like, Carson is the woman that every little girl wants to grow up to be. Like, it was so perfect. Like,
she's fancy.
It was beautiful. Yep. It was just beautiful. Like the hair. Yep. I'm like, that's it. That's luxury right there. Just,
you would think
bathtub with the towel and cucumbers.
Other people like Carson with his personality. Sometimes it can get annoying or like too much, but he's so delightful. I think it's because he's genuine. I mean,
he's just being himself. He's that's not a put on.
Yeah, it's.
But he's not mean. He's not mean-spirited to anyone.
He's not.
Right?
He's
not.
It's so great because he and
not to their face.
But
he's got some cat in him.
He and Cynthia make the greatest duo because the two of them will go, okay, well, what do we want to say to this person? Mm-hmm. And then they'll have a very minimal moment of like, something a little bit snarky, but never bad. Just, this is how we feel. We're upset. And this is stupid. And we don't like this. And then but what are we going to say to this person? And this is how their conversations are. And it's so great because neither one of them are mean-spirited. And so they're just like an adorable duo. And every time it's the two of them having a conversation, I'm like, I want to tune in because the two of them are just, they are going to be best friends out of this house. Like they're going to be friends, period. It's just how it is.
Carson's delightful. I hope he wins the whole thing. He may not, or maybe he will. We'll see. If he can talk people like, how am I a bigger threat than Misha? She's won 2 HOHs. Come on, guys.
Right.
Seriously.
And again, he's all I have left because my will win is already gone. So I've only got my would love to see win, which is Carson.
Right.
I made it through week 1, which is kind of a payback. If y'all remember the last one, I had Xavier from week 1. So
Right.
Right.
The first one, yours
you know what?
all the way to the end.
With celebrity, though, it's just such another
How do you
different
even?
animal.
How
It's
do
so
you even,
cuckoo.
right?
It's so
And so
cuckoo.
they all had to play that rotten potato game, which I thought was just that was hilarious. But then also again we had another oh my god, Chris Kattan almost just died moment because like when he tried to like run to the side, God, that would be
It's
so
like his
hard.
head. It's like because of the neck injury, it's
He can't
almost
turn
like
his head individually, like to the left
but
and right.
it's almost like sometimes he starts moving and his head gets too heavy and it starts taking him that way and he starts veering, kind of like a toddler.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
And
Like
he's
the
so
head.
close. He's always like he's trying. Here he is with these injuries.
Yeah.
You know he's hurting. He's falling everywhere. But by God, when they get out there to compete, he tries. Like he's really giving it a chance. He's trying to do something.
So Chris, like, that's why they're not. They don't want to send you home, dude, because you're not winning. But you're
not winning.
Very true.
And you're not annoying. Whatever. Just make him a cake. He'll eat the cake. He's not going to annoy you. Just whatever.
Yeah,
there's your.
That's what I said. I just want to bust into that house, make him a cake, rub his back, tell him everything's gonna be okay. Like I don't know. It just a little mango, cute little mango, like just having a rough go of it.
He has a sweet spirit, and I hope he's a sweet person. Okay, so Sunday, then we move on to they do the potato challenge.
Yep, and then we get
rotten potato challenge.
The rotten potato challenge. Then we almost this close ended up with Kattan winning that one. If he would have hit that buzzer, dang it.
Oh, but again, his head was veering him.
Had enough points. I think the math, he was still short.
Was he?
Oh, he was.
I remember thinking that at the time.
But he did. I mean, I don't know. He did pretty good considering.
Kattan, then Chris and Kattan's like, I'm not going to follow Misha and Todrick's lead. Okay. Tough guy.
Yeah, so they end up sending Mariah home.
And when we get over to our eviction on Monday, when we send Mariah home, we got a little bit of Lamar talking about the dream that he had with his son. And that was pretty. I didn't know that was.
Did you expect Lamar to have any substance at all through this? And he kind of does.
Not like in the first 12 hours of seeing him.
Well, I mean, Well, no, he started. Well, the first episode we saw, he got on his diary or in the room, and he was crying about his ex, right?
Well, yeah,
but I mean, it's a Kardashian. That could have been cooked up.
Sure, yes, but I'm just saying you start to go
as feelings.
No, well, but still, you're like, okay,
yeah, right,
and then, and now you add this in there, and he's usually pretty sweet to everybody, and he tried to stick up for Mariah, and you go like, oh, maybe he's a big teddy bear, okay,
yeah,
and maybe the self-destructive things he's done is inward. He's doing it to himself to hurt himself.
And we got a lot of good stories,
but he's not
talking about his
bad guy to
past
others
a little bit. But he opens up to like the fact that he sat and he talked about that dream. That was him really opening up, because he doesn't really open up that much when he talks about people.
But at this point, they've been there
because he was very comfortable talking to people he
didn't know well. Todd,
after 2 weeks, they've been there 2 weeks now, right? He's probably getting comfortable with them too. That will start to happen.
But I can be in a house for 2 weeks, but I'm not going to talk about something like that,
Right.
Really? You wouldn't?
That's a pretty personal thing.
I think that
sure.
Do you remember?
But it's nothing to be ashamed of. It's just something that happened.
Do you remember in all of our younger years where you could like go 24 hours without sleep if you were hanging out with the right people? Like you'd be out of it, but you still could do it and stuff.
Yeah.
But you would
just
get
made
to
you
that,
laugh more.
Yeah, you would just get to that hazy point where like your inhibitions were just kind of gone. Like you could just sort of talk with people because you were too tired to care.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
And I kind of think there's a little bit of that, because they do have guarded hours there. They have to stay up really late because they're not allowed to go to sleep until they have had their diary room sessions. And sometimes production takes hours to get to them. And this is why they're up at 3 a.m, 4 a.m, they're still up. I had a really bad bout of insomnia the other night, and I looked on the TV and they were still up and talking and cooking, and it was 4 a.m. So they
4
are
in the morning Central Time.
Right. So they're legit.
So that's
staying up.
That's 2 o'clock
in the
Pacific.
morning there, but they're not going to sleep until the sun
They're
comes
celebrities.
out.
They're used to that. You know what I mean?
When the
They
sun
live that
comes up,
lifestyle.
Then they do it. But see, and that's one of the things they started kind of pinning at Mariah though. And it's she's 20 years younger than you. She's not going to bed at 9 o'clock and then getting
Right?
up at dawn at home, she doesn't
What
have
do you think she's going to do? Go in there,
tomorrow.
wash her face and brush and floss and put on her
Right.
PJs and try to get into bed? Okay, it's time for bed. No,
So,
give me a break.
again, you think about how lonely it probably was for her in that regards, so,
Yeah.
but I'm sure that he gets a little more comfortable to talk about things, and you'll see that whenever we get clips of Lamar talking, serious stuff, he almost seems really sleepy. Because when he is awake, he's goofy and stuff, but he doesn't talk serious stuff, So
Yeah.
I think he kind of has to have a little bit of barrier breakdown and just a little bit, maybe be really tired.
Are they getting alcohol in there?
They do get alcohol.
They are getting alcohol.
I want to
Just ask Shayna. The stairs moved and everything.
Okay, they get so much different treatment overall than a regular Big Brother cast does.
Than regular cast, yeah, right. They all have riders on their contracts.
Right, I think Cynthia, maybe came in with Seagram's wine coolers. She got to bring them in or something. So
what is this? 1989 Seagram's
for
real?
They made those anymore.
Yeah, so they get to have alcohol.
She got a big crush on Bruce Willis or what? I don't even get it. That's weird.
Bruce, was you gonna go see Bruce Willis play in his band?
I mean, somebody's got to get that gal a White Claw or a Truly, because that's
something new.
Now,
something
right?
new. We got
something hip. That's what the kids
cool
are drinking.
The kids like. So yeah, they get a lot of different treatment. They had all of their laundry taken out to be washed, and normally only the age.
Yeah, have to do their own.
Have that, So
right. Because people have to do their own laundry, but not them.
It was really funny because they get their folded laundry back, and some of them are smelling it. They're these haven't been cleaned. I'm they just folded your clothes, and I just fold their clothes and throw it back at them. They will never know. So yeah, they get a little bit, and then they get really good food.
This doesn't smell like vanilla.
That's in Carson's
endangered panda.
I want my clothes rinsed in lavender.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, lavender, that's the 1800s.
I understand, but let's see the end of that.
I'm poor as can be. I can just go walk down the street and get some lavender at the dollar store, David. Lavender was fancy for the 1800s.
Lots of people. It seems like everything that you could buy that has a scent has a lavender option.
Lavender in it.
I'm actually sensitive to lavender, so I don't like it. It makes my allergies flare. So
it's a little snuffy. A little bit snuffy. So that pretty much, and then we had the cake eating and all of those little silly bits that we got, the bathtub and all of that goofy stuff.
Shayna falling up the stairs.
So I don't like that they don't have that back window.
Twice or 3 times.
It was at least twice that I saw.
Yeah.
And he's she's like, I'm just so tired. I'm thinking, but are you?
Girl, you are pie-eyed.
if you're okay, let's say it was the slippers. Okay.
Yeah.
Just take your slippers off while you go up the stairs. Just slide them off and then put them back on.
Slip them off. I noticed when they were having conversations in the storage room, there was 50 pairs of different colors of slippers that were laying on the floor in there. And it just got me thinking, do they give them regulation slippers when they get in there? These are the slippers you have to wear while you're in the hospital, where you have to have the grippy sacks.
Well, they provide them, and then it's maybe do they get a new pair every day?
Yeah, I don't know. It
These
was
ones
weird.
are sweaty and gross.
And then it was really bugging me because there
Give me a
were
new
so
pair.
many pairs all over the floor, right in front of the stair, or not the stairs, but the doorway.
Mhm.
I'm like, you guys totally have had people that clean your house because there's just no, you can't do that. It's against the rules. Don't leave a pile of shoes in front of the door.
Right.
It's funny though, you don't really see people walk around Big Brother, not even in the regular season, just walking around barefoot that often, do you?
Not unless they're outside. And they do
Well,
spend a lot of
think how
time
gross
outside,
that
but
floor
not
must
here.
be.
They what?
How gross that floor must be.
Yeah,
I'm
sure,
just
there's a lot of
I
people
can always
there.
wash my feet. I'm a barefoot person. When I'm in the house,
Yeah.
I'm barefoot.
Yeah, but I
Like,
bet it's sticky and there's food on it.
Oh
and-
yeah, but the kitchen's nasty.
Yeah.
then that
The
makes you
bathroom
clean
probably.
it. Just clean it.
See, but nobody wants to. And even with these guys, these are all like super grown ass adults and they argue about
I would
who's
be
doing
finding.
what.
Listen,
Like,
I would be-
Teddy's last words out the door were, have fun doing the dishes. Like, because clearly she was the only one doing them.
she probably did one dish and then acts like a martyr.
Yeah, and then like made a big show about it. I cleaned this
give me a
dish.
break. Give me a
This dish
break.
is clean because of
No,
me.
see, I would be in there. I'd be finding the person who absolutely liked to eat but could not cook, and then I would make an alliance with them, and I would say, "Listen, I will cook for you, but you have to clean up all the dishes. Bet? Let's do this." That's what you do. Then you don't have to clean. You got someone else to clean.
That's the rule. I mean, you cook, you don't clean, right? You know,
Right?
honestly, Misha has, you know, and she's on her, like, she has a very strict diet, but she has made meals like chicken Alfredo and she won't eat it. So she's making food that she's not eating for everybody else. So that's a good game move, like that she's still making food and feeding people.
You know, for such a strong female, I wish I could like her.
She's got a lot of Rachel in her. A lot of Rachel.
Yes, but Rachel had personality. Whether you like it or
Yeah.
not, Rachel showed emotion. Rachel laughed and
Lisa-
cried and got snarky.
Was that
and
a
rolled her
laugh that she
eyes
did?
and- Yeah, it was technically a laugh. Yeah. But Misha, I struggle with Misha because she just feels like she will not allow herself to relax and have fun and be human around other people. Like she's very on
She
guard.
wants to
and-
win.
Right. But I think that it's also just part of who she is. I think she's just really guarded and serious, and she's lost ability to show emotion in her face. So it makes it hard
But
to.
she's been punched in the
that's
face
true.
a million times.
Well, she had two surgeries done on her nose, like a reconstruction from having her nose broke, and she was having breathing problems and stuff from it. So that she had her nose fixed, but the rest of her face, that is not from being hit. That's like, I survived getting my nose worked on. Now I'm going to nip and tuck other things. And I mean, because she does not look the way she used to look. She just doesn't. And
because I'm looking her up right now. You're not wrong.
Yeah.
I didn't know her before, but looking at these pictures of her before, yeah, it's not the same.
So let's
Yeah.
talk about that HOH comp.
Because I wanted to look up and see.
The
She's
3
born-
buttons and the ski lift and
yes. And and I will say too that yes, she's
Okay.
had some stuff done, but so is Shayna, and Shayna actually makes a joke about it because today Todd asked everybody if they could raise one eyebrow. He's like, "Can you raise one eyebrow?" And she's like, "No, Botox."
Well, Carson made some comment about this doesn't move or something
Right,
like that.
right. Yeah, yep. There's a lot of Botox in the house for sure. For sure.
Maybe that'd be funny if they riffed on him and made that like a theme of a challenge.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean,
But
like, I
instead, we're
don't
gonna
know.
go skiing. Okay, first of all, I feel like maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. I'm not up to date on
Dude, Todd didn't even
celebrity.
try. Todd was like, "I'm just gonna take my clothes off fast. I'm not gonna push any buttons." It's like,
What?
not even put your foot on the one bus.
Right,
Like,
like,
really?
try for
I think
like
we
a
can go
second.
ahead and say Todd's not real bright at this point.
Not at gaming. He's definitely not at
I
gaming.
don't think he's bright generally.
Unless he's just wants everyone to think he sucks at this game, so they keep him. That's a way to get to the end and then
I
turn
just
it on.
think
I don't
I
know.
think he legitimately just sucks at like competing things. You know, like
Ooh,
he just
when they
that's
were-
not.
When they were making fun of his skinny legs, chicken legs.
Yes, yep. His little legs. His little legs.
There are lots of 50-year-old men who have chicken legs, or 56-year-old men who have
but
chicken legs.
let me ask you this, okay? So we've seen this comp before. It's like different versions of the same comp.
Yeah.
Now, they usually kind of theme it to whatever the theme of the season is, and obviously this is like a celebrity season, so it's this whole like
right.
chalet,
And we got to see Kato.
Got some Kato action. They all had to get in the same hot tub he was in. I don't know how I feel about that, but yeah. Do celebrities do a lot of skiing still? Like, I feel like that was a thing of the 80s and 90s. Like, and
I bet you they still do it.
Do they? Is there a lot of celebrity skiing?
I think it was just an excuse to put them in a lot of clothes so they had more to take off.
Yeah. But I have to say,
especially with the skis themselves.
Like Kirkpatrick's outfit, like, he had a different one on than the rest of them did. His was kind of awesome, and I was like, I'm all about that. I would have that.
Was it okay, or did he automatically DQ the Catan leaving his long johns on? He didn't want people to see him without he didn't want to take his shirt off.
No, poor sweet guy. Poor sweet
guy. I think they had that option because he wasn't the only one.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Well, and then the girls, like, they had the matching swimsuits. So they obviously didn't bring in swimsuits themselves because they're not going to be using the backyard. So there's no pool.
So maybe they were just being kind and saying, hey, what do you want? Do you want, and I'll take the swim trunks. Right. That's fine. Oh, okay. And just being kind to them because, you know.
You know what? And I'm going to say this too. I have to say, because even though one of them is like an MMA fighter, she's training again. And then we have like the housewife and we have, I have to say that it was pretty awesome that we had 3 celebrity women and all of them were like normal sized women. Like, and they're celebrities and they're not like, pounds. You know what I mean? It's nice to see that.
Yes,
actually, I think 2
but
of the guys
are opposed to like supermodel type, or?
Yeah,
like super.
I think Teddy was the closest to that.
Well, sure, but they all had
the blonde LA thing going,
and I think one, being moms, but then also not being 20 years old probably makes some difference.
But it was just
nice to see it.
I still can't tell though if some of the body parts are enhanced. That's all enhancement.
Right. That may be. There might be some of that there. They were nobody was like really like underweight. Like, it was average size hips and tummies, and they all looked really good. And it was like, this is awesome. This is kind of actually different and not something I would have expected to notice in a celebrity season. Yeah, it was kind of nice.
They look like they look like they've had 3 meals a day.
Yeah, exactly.
Normal diet.
Like humans, like actual normal women who like really nice looking normal women.
Absolutely.
Well, I think that's similar to, did you say there's 4 people over 50?
Yeah, like all of
them.
Talk
about, these shows, they talk about diversity all the time.
Yeah.
This is the first time I see people, 52, 53. And you're not dead at 52.
Todd Bridges, I think, is 56.
Right.
With his nasty tattoo and his chicken legs.
His futuristic cop. Oh, we laugh it now. Okay. I think that there's not a ton of spoiler.
Well, let's make the announcement now.
Okay.
We're now going to talk about spoilers. If you do not wish to be spoiled, please stop.
These would be things that have been happening in the live feed since the noms came out.
Since the nominations, and if you are not watching this until after the Friday episode, then you're probably in the clear, and I'm not spoiling anything.
Right.
But if you're watching this before Friday's episode, turn it off now because you can get spoiled.
I'm pretty sure I know the
Thursday
dish.
Forward a minute.
Okay. So knock me out because I'm not watching the feeds.
Okay, so
give me all the dish.
Like the first important thing that we know is that as last night's episode was airing, which was recorded, obviously, but as it was airing, the live feeds were down, and when the live feeds came back up, Chris Kattan was no longer in the game. Okay,
so when they did.
Yeah, he left the challenge because they said he wasn't feeling good, remember?
Right. Like
when they did the nominations, what day was that? Do we think that was taped? to air last night.
Everything's just like every other day. It's every other day.
Was that Tuesday? You think that was Tuesday? That happened on Tuesday?
Yeah.
Okay, so sometime between Tuesday night and when the feeds came back on.
Well, it was. It
He
would
was
have
gone.
been. I can't remember the last timestamp, but there was the last timestamp was. I want to say it was earlier in that day. See, it's really hard because this season with their feeds have been awful. Like they have been the worst they've ever been. And it's
I bet you I think they have to protect
horrible.
the celebrities more than
But
just
it's
normal
not
people
even-
who just come in and sign their lives away.
But it's not even like when there's conversations going on that they need to protect something. I mean, they definitely turn it off when they mention production or sing a song or any of that. The same stuff they would for anyone else. But it's
Right.
just like something with the feeds isn't working right. Like something's like there's a technical issue that's making
Oh,
it
you think
not
it's
work.
technical? You don't think it's on purpose?
Because it's like this. This is how it goes. You literally have like if our conversation that we just had was a live feed, it would have been interrupted 2 or 3 times already.
With fish
With
or dogs.
with sparkles or dogs or kittens.
I like the dogs, actually.
The little puggles. The little puggles are cute.
Yeah.
But the
At least they didn't do effing cats.
yeah, they have them sometimes, but they have more puppies. I know Christy would prefer the kitties. We'll get
I like
into
the
that
kitties.
debate another time. But yeah.
Yes,
they're
5
just-
15 over. 5 of them are 15 over. I had to look it up. Sorry.
There we go. So yeah, we are not getting a ton of live feed action that stretches out very long. It's just constantly interrupted, and it's being really difficult for some of these podcasters that are live feed podcasters. So like literally all they just
Uh-oh.
Oh, and she is.
It can be difficult. It can be difficult for our live feeds as well. Yes. What can they write about? Whoa.
I was thinking being frozen.
Whoa. You went out. Okay, good. So yeah, so they can't really write much if they don't know what's going on or contemplate. You can't even theorize when you don't have all the information because you're not seeing it. Exactly. I know I'm absolutely right.
there we go. Freezing. No, so
the live feeds come up. Catan's gone.
Yep. And
no mention of him at all.
No, there's no mention for a while. And then somebody was like, okay, listen, it's been up for 40 minutes. We still haven't seen Catan. So then there was like, I think he's gone.
Oh,
and then
they didn't know at that point yet.
Nobody watching it knew.
No, people outside the house didn't know.
Right. But
but the people in the house knew what happened.
But I'm assuming, again, it is an assumption because Chris Kattan just doesn't even know where he was. So I'm sure he just didn't know how to do it the same way. But
he was literally trying to beg them to vote him out.
Right. But in the past, whenever someone has left the show, and by the way, this is no different than either 2 of the other Celebrity Big Brothers, someone leaves every season. So this isn't a surprise, honestly.
I thought it was going to be Lamar. I did.
Yeah, I kind of thought so too. I thought so too.
Yeah.
But then I think his competitive edge realized like, oh no, I gotta, maybe
I could win this.
Right.
Well, I think it hooked him enough for him to go, I want to figure this out maybe. So
yeah, he's going to be like going home streaming all the previous seasons.
Yep, right.
He's gonna be like
a fan now.
He'll be on like All Stars in a couple years.
Watch. This will be his new career. He'll podcast on it. He'll like go to all the He'll show up to every finale show. He'll whatever.
But in the past, it's usually someone goes into the diary room and they don't come back out. And then production usually will say, hey, so-and-so has left the show.
So there's a door out in the diary room? Is that?
Yeah, there must be.
Yeah, there's like a whole door and through the production.
Oh, I thought maybe they brought like a rig in and hoisted them out or something.
Now, see, do you guys remember like there's an eviction button, like a self-evict button.
Yes.
And that hasn't come into play or been talked about for many seasons. So I wonder if it's still really.
It could be in the diary. It could be in the diary room, and you just go do it quietly.
Maybe because it used to be like by the front door, like there was a button you could self-evict yourself. But
sure, and make a big spectacle of it. But
right.
But so he goes in there. I always think when something like that happens, they weren't planning to evict, but then they go and then they start talking and they kind of talk themselves into it because otherwise,
they probably tried to save save him and make him stay in the game. I'm sure they pushed him a lot to stay in the game because you got to think
Sure.
about like how much that messes
to
with their schedule.
Right, they have to scramble now. How are we? What are we going to do? We're going to bring someone back, or not have an elimination at some point, or
right? Exactly. Like,
so you do
now
like the Amazing Race. This is a non-elimination.
Non-elimination,
which is a big
honestly,
jip, and I don't want to talk about it because it makes me mad.
I would prepare yourself because I can't see how with such a short schedule. I cannot see them not doing that tomorrow.
Well, maybe all we lost was double eviction night. Maybe they had double eviction night somewhere in there, and
well, I know I don't think so because it's so. I mean, maybe I don't know. I would be shocked if tomorrow night, because they did say CBS did put out an official notice that we will address this on Friday night's episode. So
there's 9 episodes. I just counted. There's 9 episodes left, including tomorrow.
Okay.
Jeez, it's so quick.
Mm-hmm. I would be.
It's over on
really
the 23rd.
If they didn't say, "Hey, since this is going to be a non-elimination HO," you know what I mean? Like, I wouldn't be surprised. Which kind of stinks because if you know who won veto, kind of stinks because now.
Well, we're talking spoilers. Why don't we just go out and
do it? Do it.
Okay, so we had our veto.
Talk about first who got put up, and then.
Okay, so who was the first two? And I have to go back and like
Carson
and Cynthia.
Cynthia.
And that caused lots of drama.
Right.
Did it?
And then
Cynthia was not happy.
And then, but now the goal is for veto. The goal is to win the veto, like anybody but Todrick and Misha at this point. It's any of that, like that's the goal. Everybody wants to win the veto other than those two, because now everyone's starting to kind of realize like Misha's who we need out of here.
Right. We can't let Misha have everything she wants. We gotta.
Right. Like we can deal with Carson later, but right now we're not going to win a competition and we're not going to get to be HOH every other week. So Cynthia and Carson were talking about like, God, doesn't it feel like Misha's been HOH for like 2 weeks and Carson's like a millennium, you know, forever. So that's the main goal right there. I won't go into like who, because otherwise you're going to be so bored watching the veto. I won't say who won it, but the goal is. With the veto, somebody to make the game more fun did win the veto. Okay, and somebody that you know who it is. Well, you can. I'm like, if you already know, you can.
I'm going to say it wasn't. I'm going to give a clue. It wasn't Todd Bridges.
It was not.
That's all I'm going to
say. Well, you said I was going to guess Todd because earlier you said it looks like he's starting to turn it on. I thought, ooh, maybe he freaking won something.
Well, yes, he's going to turn it on because. He is starting to get snappy and there's some arguments going on in the house, and him and Cynthia got into a full-blown yelling match that made everybody run to the door today. Yeah, there was like a big battle, lots of yelling, lots of bad words being said, especially on his part.
But why? Why lose your cool when you know all those cameras are there?
Because he's suddenly feeling the pressure of the game, and now he is.
Who cares?
He also admitted today that he wants to get his tattoos covered up.
Because it's been in his head now since they met.
So that to me was the more interesting thing.
No, you own that because that's because they. But that's because they messed with him. That's not nice.
So there was a lot of sassafrassin that was going down today and some bad words that were said. And Carson, that wonderful man, like he straight up like stood up for Cynthia, like, and didn't make a big scene about it. Like he was just, they're
going to be friends afterwards, I think. Yeah. I think they're going to be besties after this is over.
Yeah, for sure.
I just feel like at this point, so whether the fight happened before or after Katian self-evicted, at this point, you're not the first one out. You're all well known. They've got to all be, even if they want to play the game, their competitiveness there, they've got to kind of be over it a little bit and not like, whatever, if they send me home, they send me home. Do you know what I mean? Like, what's the big deal?
Well, there's some people, there's two groups in the house. There's people who are really playing, and there's people who don't really care.
Right.
Sure, but even if you're really playing and you want to win, it's like, I guess they want the money. It's not going to charity, right?
Misha would kick someone in the face to win at this point.
Well, and the funniest thing is that it kind of seems like the person who's like the least concerned about being cutthroat is like they all labeled as the biggest threat.
Yeah.
And he is like just getting pushed towards like being the biggest threat just by being chilled out.
Well, no, because everyone likes him. Nobody dislikes him that I've seen.
No.
I mean, even Misha, who wants him out because she knows everyone likes him.
Even him and Kirkpatrick have bonded over the fact that they both like grew up in Amish country, and no Amish people went to high school with Amish people. like
no Amish people really went to school with Amish people. What?
Yeah, like they bonded over that. Like they grew up around Amish country. And
so they went to school with Amish people is what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay, I heard you say, and no Amish people went to school with Amish people. And I was like, I don't.
Yeah, that would be a completely
Well, for a minute, her feed was like that commercial.
Right,
where the
that's why I was like,
I'm like the live feeds. My connection is like the live feeds here. But yeah, so even they have bonded about like the funny names that they knew in school and stuff. And then it was really cute because Carson was like, big shout out to all the Amish that are watching. And they laughed and laughed about how funny that was.
That is funny.
Okay, so if Todd Bridges didn't win the veto, who won the veto then?
Well, she wants to know, David. She just gave us permission. You go ahead. You spoil her. Go ahead and spoil her.
Who won the veto?
Shayna again.
Who?
Shayna.
Ooh, I don't hate that.
That's her second one in a row.
I don't hate that because I think she's smart enough to really consider what's the best play.
Well, and of course she used it.
I don't hate that.
She used it.
She probably took Cynthia down.
Nope.
No? Oh, those two are never going to be friends ever again. Holy moly.
She took down Carson.
Good for her.
Guess who got put up?
Guess who went up? And I'm so happy about this.
Chris Kilpatrick? Oh, absolutely. Chris Kilpatrick.
And the funny part is he knew that he was the one going to be put up. And he was still telling her to use the idol or to use the POV.
Use the idol. Wrong game. That's why.
Right.
Okay, so then I guess we can talk about who do we think the House is going to vote out then. Because that's screwed up. Shayna uses it to save Carson, and then her person goes up instead. Which is
the problem. Today, like as of today right now, I would almost feel like Cynthia was in deep trouble because of the fight with Todd. I think they're going to go after Chris, like after today's calming down. And her and Todd, when we started this podcast, her and Todd were getting along and making brisket together in the kitchen. So it's starting to mend. But thank goodness, because otherwise I think she would have maybe been in a little bit of trouble. But I don't know though, also because some of the stuff that Todd said, like everyone else was like, what? So he didn't make himself the best picture.
So I saw that just because this is my jam, I see that Misha is a Leo. Leos can be fierce.
Very Leo. She's very Leo, yes.
Yeah, she's very strong. So now I'm going to take a look and see what Todd is. Anyone want to guess what Todd is?
Taurus. He seems like
Virgo.
I was going to say Taurus. Oh my gosh. I'm so ashamed. He's a Gemini.
Really?
Wow.
Geminis are usually really good communicators. They can kind of make friends with anyone because they can kind of just navigate that in between space. And they usually don't.
Everyone else.
Right. And they usually, they can actually whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, they can mirror anybody they're around. Yep.
And usually Geminis are not super confrontational.
Well, he does not fit the traditional role as
he does not. I'm a real Gemini, a real true.
Yeah, he's got a little temper going on there.
He does. He's
got some.
No, in fairness, they have been giving him no end of shit about snoring and his tattoo. And I mean, the tattoo, Shayna does not let up on the tattoo. It just is constant with her. And she's like, today when he said he wanted it, she's like, don't get it taken off because it's the funniest thing I've ever seen in my life. And he would take that from me.
Dude, you know what Carson Kressley is?
Is he a Libra? He seems kind of like
Pisces.
Libra. What is he? What is he?
He's a Scorpio.
Really? He
would
does
not.
not fit that at all. Yeah.
Right? November 11th. That's Scorpio,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Well, Scorpio. Yeah, because if you go by the chart.
See,
I'm
I
a
would have said if
Scorpio
there was a
Libra.
Scorpio in the house, I would have thought Todd Bridges would have been more the Scorpio.
Yes, I would have too. Yeah. Oh,
Sorry,
it's
Scorpios. We love you.
It's almost as if it's not actually a perfect match for everybody. And he's not a
Lamar
perfect
Oden's a Scorpio too.
That I can see. He fits that more than our Carson.
October 17th. That is
Libra,
right?
Mhm.
That's Chris Kirkpatrick.
And my father.
Yep. You're gonna have to tell him. You're gonna have to be like, listen,
Cynthia's a
I've been
Pisces.
real, but you're a little Kirkpatrick-y today. I'm not gonna stand for it.
Cynthia's a Pisces, so I'm gonna ask, when she was having her argument, was she coherent and made sense? She made good points.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, okay. The Pisces that I know does not.
Yeah, Todd was the one who really was looking
Really?
like
What are we saying here, Christy?
Are you a Pisces? No, not you. Are you a Pisces?
Yeah.
Oh, I wasn't speaking of you. I have my baby sister. I love her very much.
St. Patrick's Day is my birthday.
Really? That's the best birthday ever.
And my middle name is Patrick.
I was just going to say your middle name's Patrick,
and I was
right?
born in an Irish hospital on the south side of Chicago. So there you go.
Man,
One of my
very David.
Good friends is also a St. Patrick baby, and you can tell. You can tell he's a St. Patrick's kid. For sure.
Sheena is an Aries.
Oh, an Aries.
We could do a little niche podcast from now on, and we could just call it the astrology of Big Brother.
And I totally believe this. Todrick is also an Aries.
Todrick is a hot mess. You guys, can I just tell you that he is a hot mess happening in that house, and he is... I'm bumming out. I really wanted to be excited
but I still like him.
But he is just... he is...
You know what?
You know what? Where Carson is very genuine, he is very disingenuine. Like, he's just... Everything is... And everyone's reading it. They're like, yeah, okay.
There's like a wall there.
Yeah. They're like, that's
there's like something really... there. He's kind of buffering himself from people. You know what?
He's a wee bit.
He's going to float to wherever the power is for the rest of the game. And
yeah,
everybody wanted an alliance with him straight away. I mean, that's on them. But I think if they can get Misha out, because she's clearly the biggest threat in there, right? Clear and present danger, Misha.
Yeah.
If they can get her out, he might be able to turn his game around.
I don't think that he sees his game as being wrong. I think
it'll force him
at the top notch.
Sure, right, because Misha's at the top. So if she's gone, I think it'll force him to pivot a little bit, and then he'll have to. He'll have to.
On a break.
Then you know what? Maybe without her gone, maybe then he would warm up to people and let his guard down.
I hope so,
maybe right now.
He is just bumming me straight the heck out. Like,
I really liked him straight away, but he hasn't got very much to airtime since.
Because he's just not everything I wanted him to be.
But like the first two episodes, it was him and him and Carson. You're like, okay, this is gonna be good.
But straight up, I think production Carson is gold. You know,
gold.
And like Todrick is fine, but like he's really working on getting Carson out. But we got to keep Carson around because that's who people are coming to watch.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's like out of all the diary room sessions, like his just feel right every time. They don't feel forced or weird.
Okay,
and funny. And
so Carson's big win he freaking cleaned their clocks on that.
Right on that.
Move the numbers around thing.
Yeah, figuring out which came that logic. It was like a logic puzzle.
It was.
You don't necessarily start with the top thing. Look and see with the one that looks like, oh, these go like this.
And then at the end, he's all like, if you were really my assistant, I would fire you.
But he did it in like 3 minutes and something, and no one else was even close. I think the next closest person was like 8 minutes something. So if production is making, they'll be like, that's what he needs. He needs something logical because he will win it. So watch. If he's in danger and they throw out a logic veto or something.
Yeah. Honestly, I think that they are putting all of their chips on him because he's just the star of the show. He just is. He just is.
The other remarkable challenge that I forgot to mention that I wanted to mention was, dude, Chris Kilpatrick could not find that thing in not even guessing right. He couldn't even, the odds are he should have at least been able to guess one right.
I
not
know,
a
I love
single
like Todd going
one.
like, Todd's like, were you throwing that? Because if you weren't, you need like an optometrist. Because they all made fun of like how bad he did.
Dude, it was so bad. Like, you only have 3 choices, okay? So even if you can't find it and you're just guessing each time,
Just make a guess.
how would you be wrong on every single one? I know that's the gambler's fallacy. I did pretty good.
I got all but one. The first time they changed the sign color, I didn't think they were allowed to do that. I was looking for a white background, and it screwed me up.
It was yellow, right? I think I missed the first one because I still wasn't quite what.
I missed two.
I think, and then I got everyone after that, and I was like, okay, yeah, that was kind of cool.
I'm not great at the.
Where's Waldo?
Right, like because it's just the ADD brain. I'm just like I gotta move on. Like I'm done trying to find it.
When does that movie come out?
Where's Waldo?
No, the Will You Marry Me or whatever movie.
I was like, is there a Waldo movie?
I think it's in a weird month. I think it's in a month that Julie can't say very well.
February. Yeah. What did she get? Yeah, like
it's coming out February.
What? Right? You heard it too. Okay, it wasn't just me.
All, man, right?
What?
February.
Listen.
I'm just saying, Julie's got enough problems with the crochet dress. I'm off of her syntax, you know.
Yep,
maybe she. Yep. You know what? If she, okay, I just thought of something. So you know, she's always kind of awkward, and she'll randomly say weird stuff like "Praise Jesus" or whatever her thing is going to be that moment.
Blessings.
Yep. Yeah, blessings. Weird. Okay. Yep.
Okay. What
Joining
if
the monastery? Apparently.
What if she's been drinking since Les had his troubles? Drinking or doing, maybe she's on the Xanny.
I don't know.
She's been drinking since last February.
Right. Or maybe she had a giant dry January, so February is real hard.
Wet February.
Now. So weird. Oh my gosh.
I know, I make fun of people and the way they talk. I mess up words all the time.
No, but that's literally her bread and butter is speaking on TV. And you cannot say one of the 12 months very well.
I know, because could she be like, coming out the day after this year's Valentine's Day?
Coming out after Valentine's Day. Perfect for Valentine's Day, or but it's not even that hard. Do you think when she got off, they were like February?
I want to ask her how to say library, like because it seems like people have a hard time saying library correctly. Struggle with February. It's that R, like the R placement, because I know a lot of people that say library.
Ignore it. Yeah, don't.
A lot of people have words they can't pronounce properly.
But
ignore where the R is.
People who play instruments for a living would be called.
I don't know what kind of instrument.
Any instrument. They play it for a living. So their profession is a
musician?
Yes, I can't say that word.
Really?
Really?
No,
try it.
I cannot say it.
How close to that word can you get? Let me hear.
Bad, it's bad. I'm not doing it. It would end up, that is not going on.
Well, maybe people have to tune in next week to see you say musician.
Is it musician? Yeah. Okay, guys, you want my top 10s?
Yeah.
Oh, give it. Well, yeah, because we're at a minute 20. Woof.
This one was a little bit harder this week, but here are my top 10s, the things that I love to hate about Celebrity Big Brother, or hate to love. Okay, so my first one is the fact that Todrick can wear an outfit that has a shirt that literally looks like he pulled it out of the dumpster. Did you see this shirt? It has no back.
With no back? No back.
Right? But he could
I think that was on purpose.
Pair that shirt with this gorgeous sweater, and I bet you they cost the same.
And
Just saying.
he has this weird, like, he's like David on Schitt's Creek. It's like, that looks absurd, but then they
Right.
just do it with confidence,
And
so
it
it just looks
works
amazing.
for them. Yep, it works for them.
Okay.
So that's like, I had to put note on that. Okay,
Yeah.
number 2 is that that Big Brother edit will give us this whole thing about like Chris Patrick's face while Misha's working out, like in the exercise room, and how terrified he looks, but then not include the clip that he says that he can't nominate Misha because he's genuinely afraid
Afraid of her.
him up. Because he was like,
Yeah.
no, she'll hit me, and they laugh. And he's like, I'm not kidding. Like she's
Like that's scary. Well, even if she didn't, even if she didn't hit you, she doesn't have to hit you to be scary. I could just think her yelling at you, would bring back some serious PTSD to some people.
For sure, she would make me nervous. I'm not gonna lie, she would make me.
I won't use wire hangers anymore. I promise.
I promise, Mom. Okay, the fact that number 3 is the fact that we have a figure skating champion who was literally missing the Olympics to play Rotten Potatoes. like her Olympics,
Right.
her co-athlete.
Yeah, I wondered that too.
But I think that's why CBS chose her. They were trying to somehow cash in on the Olympics that they're not having. But by having
all of that was happening, we got the first female to land the quad. So now she's got someone that just inched above her. In record
and then she got voted out.
Number of minutes Dave has spent watching the Olympics. Number of news articles I have read about it.
I did spend one evening watching the Olympics. I was watching figure skating. So, okay.
I was going to, and then
it's hard because their schedules are so messed up between ABC and NBC and everything. It's hard to even catch them right anymore. Okay, so my next
CBS was like, we can get an athlete.
Here, we can do this. We can do this.
Oh, poor CBS. Anyway.
Okay, number 4 is that there is always, like every single season, there is one player who gets the repeat plinka, 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 plink music in the background because they're doing something multiple times. This season we got Chris and his cake eating, right?
Yeah.
Like every season, without fail, somebody does something more than one time and producers are like, we need to make this something it's not.
I really wish they'd use the Larry David music instead.
Yeah, right, that'd be fun. Like last year, like Kylan sniffing everything, like
they're not paying for that.
No, they're not. Or how about come up with some different music for each player,
like some Barry Hill music,
like they let them all have their own theme song. Come on, come on, CBS.
They could get what's her name from Survivor. She could come in and be like do 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 do.
Yes.
He loves writing theme songs for people.
And Chris Kirkpatrick could just be the bye 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 song.
Bye bye bye. That joke did make it out. Oh, and I do have to say before we go on to my number 5 that Lamar deserves to get further in this game because he did it. He was the one who did it today when Todd was yelling. He said, what you talking about, Willis? He totally wasn't talking about Willis.
Did you say like it was lip?
On day,
we got him.
What day was it today? What was the official day? How many?
Like 15 or something like that.
I can't believe it went that far.
15 days before someone said, what you talking about, Willis?
He got it though. He got it in.
You knew it was coming.
It had to.
Oh, of course.
Well, Lamar's probably been thinking about it. What was that he said?
Okay, to be fair, younger people, I don't know. I'm going to guess everybody in there would have gotten it except for maybe Mariah.
Yeah.
But everyone 30 and older would have known people in their 20s don't know what Different Strokes is, though.
Probably not so.
Some do,
and
but
it's not a show that was on Syndicate for long or anything. So
no.
No, it probably one of those shows. If you went back and watched it, it probably hasn't aged real well.
It's really high on the white
savior complex.
White savior, yes, absolutely, 100%. Anyway, okay,
so that would not fly today.
Probably not so.
I know.
But what does fly apparently at CBS is that it doesn't matter if you're a celebrity or just a regular old person. Julie's gonna scream, "Lock in your answers."
Because Chris
Like,
couldn't get it in
yelling at
there.
him, and Chris is like, oh my God. That's probably
Jeez
why
Louise,
he wanted
he
to go
does-
home.
He doesn't even know where he is. Don't yell at him.
You're stop
God.
yelling. You're scaring
Wherever,
him.
wherever he is in the world right now, do you think he knows where he is?
Oh yeah, he is in a happier place for sure.
Oh, bless
For
He
him.
doubled up his dose tonight, and he is.
He is good to go. He is
He's
a
got the
happy
white nose
camper.
machine on. There's no snoring. He is happy.
All right, what's number 5?
Well, we're moving into number 6 now. Now, this is something that I don't love to hate it. I just love loving it, and I had to include it. Julie and Carson are the only 2 people in the history of this show that can do the "you look fabulous." No, you look fabulous, and it's great. And
I
don't
think
kill anybody. It's so
the funny
wonderful.
thing is that I feel like Carson is doing it, but I feel like deep inside Carson is doing it to make fun of the people who do it and don't do it well.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
So I love that.
She's
Yeah.
all like, "You look so handsome," and
Handsome. And he's
"You
like,
look so
thank
beautiful."
you.
Yep. I don't hate it. I don't hate it.
It's pretty
I
great. It's pretty
think
great.
it's a joy. I do love it. All right, number 7. I've got okay. That CBS, the same channel that carries Survivor, can edit every single contestant in the game to have a full story arc with resolution. But the
And
editors
slow motion.
and slow motion. But the editors at Big Brother cannot edit anything that happens to at least like put it in consecutive order to how the game is being played. Because when Shayna fell up that set of stairs 2 times, the memory wall with the pictures on it still had Mari's picture in color. So this happened last week. This happened before any eviction took place. And it's like, oh God, guys, really?
They just had that like, we have a buffer.
That's gold. We got to use it. We'll figure out
We'll
how to
use
put
it.
it in.
Yeah. We don't have time, but we'll keep it.
I mean,
we're gonna use
and
it.
the sad thing is, it's legit. Just like color to black and white is all they have to do. Like we mastered that technique in the
Oh.
90s. Like
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. But they're keeping it real. They're keeping it real.
keeping it real.
They're
by
not rewriting
keeping it-
history.
They're keeping it real by completely
Yeah.
messing up timelines.
Well,
That's so
no.
funny.
I mean, well, they're just showing it out of order, but
And I'll be fair. It doesn't matter. She just fell up the stairs. It doesn't have anything to do with gameplay. Last season was actually worse because they would have conversations completely out of order.
yes. And that messes with our heads
Right.
because we can't wrap our heads around what's going on.
Right. It's like they make their own dang story out of it. So, okay. And now I'm moving on to number 8. And let's see. Coming
Number
back.
8
Okay,
is-
I'm back.
I hate my
Number 8.
internet.
I'm back. I'm back. Okay,
Okay.
number 8 is like I cannot stand anymore when people are HOH and they have to put people up on the block. I am so tired of the line. This is just a game move. Every flippin' thing you do in this house is a game move. It should always
Duh.
be a game move.
She said,
Period.
Misha said the same thing, basically told Carson why she put him up,
Right.
and then looked at Cynthia and said the exact same thing. So why say anything? Why explain? Just
I mean,
go.
like, you both know why you're up.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
Exactly. Yep.
And if you don't, I'll be up in that room and you can come talk to me.
Or maybe she just couldn't think of anything nice to say or
Just
anything
be
good
like,
to say.
You know what? Everybody here likes you. You're pretty good at challenges. As far as I see it, you're my number 1 competitor. Boom.
And Cynthia, you're going up because it looks like the two of you guys are pretty close.
2 of
So
you are dang close. And
So
that's
one of you
Yeah.
got to go home.
that would have been at least honest.
not to mention the fact I feel like it puts a way bigger target on them to the other players that are kind of floating in between.
Oh
right now.
yeah, they are really close.
Just a
I
game
don't know.
move. Okay, you're in a game.
Weird.
Everything's a game move. When you made chicken
Sure.
Alfredo and didn't eat it, that was a game move.
Literally, when you
selling that?
picked up your bag and walked in the house, that was a game move. I mean,
Like
yeah,
literally,
seriously.
like as you're serving the other house guests, are you like, I'm not eating any of this because I'm on a diet, but I made this for you because this is just
And
a
it's
game
so yummy, and I want you to enjoy it.
move. This is just a
I want you to get super fat so I can beat you in every challenge.
sluggy. It makes you so. And she's like
Sabotage.
telling Shayna, like, don't eat sugar because it makes you not be able to concentrate.
And Shayna's like,
Everyone's like, "Ugh." They don't like it. They don't like it. Okay, number 9. My number 9 is that Apparently Kato Caitlin is now like the celebrities version of their Dr. Will. Like
Maybe.
Well, I
he's
don't
kind of like moved into
know.
the backyard and was all like, here's a competition. I have a drink in my hand, but I won't be here when you come back here. Weird.
Right.
Is he shouting over
Weird.
the wall?
Yeah, no, it's weird. Like pre-taped this thing that
I
then they
don't
just
know,
play
shouting
there.
over the wall again.
Yeah, it's so
Well, we'll see. We'll see if anybody else shows up. I would love for them to have Ross come back. I loved Ross.
That would at least be not Kato.
Did you see on the new Survivor Takeoff show that they're doing? I forget what network.
Yeah, I can't remember.
Oh, yeah.
On it? Meta World Peace.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Yep, that's right.
And I think
that
Meta World Peace, so I'm going to say it again. Meta World Peace.
I just can say that.
He probably going to change his name from.
But I can say Meta World Peace.
He's probably going to change his meta name because that stock went way down.
Big time.
All right, what's number 10?
All right, number 10. We didn't talk about this throughout the episode, so I'm excited to finally get to this.
Okay.
Number 10 is that in Celebrity Big Brother, all of the Twitter universe could come together and talk about how a Major League basketball player shit himself in bed.
There we go.
Like,
that's
and legit didn't try to hide it. He didn't try to hide it. He woke up and was like, just so everybody
I'm lactose intolerant and I drank too much vanilla extract.
Just so everybody knows, I shit the bed.
Listen, shit happens, So, okay, so for anyone who doesn't
I wonder if they laundered that or just refolded it and brought it back.
They did not wash this.
So he was drinking the vanilla extract because it contains alcohol. Is this correct?
I don't know if he was trying to get schnockered or if he just because he heated up milk. Like he was a sleepy young.
And so sure,
in it, but I don't know.
Why would you put so much in it though, unless you were trying to make like some sort of a hot toddy-ish situation?
Yeah, and maybe he was, but at the end of the day, it turns out his biggest mistake was drinking the lactose when he's intolerant. So,
right? He knew he was intolerant.
Yeah, he knows he's sensitive.
Can you imagine the crap he's going to get the rest of his life over that? From every friend he has in the world.
Okay, to be fair though, if they're giving them alcohol, usually they give them a certain amount for each person.
Right, there's a cut. Yeah, there's like a cut. They get like a beer,
Well, they might get more than that, but
I think they get some wine. He's
a super big dude. I'm gonna guess he could drink quite a bit before
but I don't think that he is drinking because I'm thinking I don't know, but I'm pretty sure that he's like on the sober train right now, seeing as he almost died.
Okay, well that's good. So then what the heck was he doing?
He was drinking milk irresponsibly.
But why? What was the I want to drink this milk even though I'm lactose intolerant, or I want to have a warm drink?
Yeah,
because there's other options. I bet you there's tea in the house or something.
Well, and I think it was like and I think the melatonin wasn't working or something,
Oh, hot milk, but he doesn't like milk, maybe, and that's why he put the vanilla in, thinking it would make it taste better.
Maybe.
Okay, all right. Well,
either way, it all came out.
But he knows he's intolerant, so find something else.
It's not the right choice. He learned the hard way on national
CBS production. Get this man some sleepy time tea. I'm just saying.
Some chamomile. Yeah, Carson's always making chamomile. Like he could have just made him some tea.
Maybe he doesn't know that that's a thing, but that would be.
That's true. He might not know.
That would be my advice. My herbal advice.
My herbal advice is to not crap yourself on national television. Drink tea instead of milk.
So are we the same time next week?
Yeah, I think so.
Same time.
And
same
then a
time.
Proposal for Wednesday the 23rd, which is the finale. We should go live 15 minutes after, and not wait
cool with that. Yeah. Yep.
That works. That's fine.
That work?
That should work. Yeah. I think so. Wait, let me look.
Do we need to get Crazy Hank himself to bless that, or are we empowered to make that decision?
I've pretty much been setting stuff up, so we love you, Crazy Hank, but we're not bothering him.
We don't really, but
Yeah, let him.
I like you well enough.
It doesn't even know we're here.
You're my
Doesn't
favorite
even know,
male
like-
Gladfelter.
He's like, they've hijacked my channel. What is going on?
You're
Anyway.
the best naked Zamboni driver that ever did exist.
Ever did exist. The best Charger fan that ever was. I mean,
Former Charger fan. Charger fan on hiatus. Whatever you want to say.
I'm just saying, if something happens to Dean Spanos, the police have some place to look. I'm just saying.
If something happens to Dean Spanos, Jack is going to jail.
Years of mounting evidence turns against him.
Well, I mean, especially that one tweet. So anyway,
All right, so do that ending thing you do.
that would be big snappy. All right. I guess that's it. We'll see you guys next Thursday evening at the same time, 9
same
p.m.
place.
Eastern, 8, just whatever
8
Central
Central,
time.
8
8
Central.
in Missouri.
8
in Missouri time.
8 in Tornado Alley
8
time.
in the Ozarks.
In the Ozarks.
8 and 9. Yep. And I guess we'll see you then. If you subscribe down below, you'll get our notifications to come on live. We have a live chat. You guys come in there and
Yeah, join us live so you can share your opinion.
talk whatever smack you want to talk about any of the players. We'll share it.
Tell them. We won't tell
We'll
them.
weigh in.
Tell us.
I mean, you got ideas too, right? We got ideas. You got ideas. Come share your ideas.
Everyone's got
All right,
ideas.
guys. That's right. All right, guys. We'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.